the dreaded nightmare clients, what to do with them. Hey everyone, my name is Sylvia and welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm a social media manager and business mentor from Portugal, and I love talking all about starting and running your own business, marketing yourself on Instagram and Upwork, and much more. So if those are topics that interest you, don't forget to hit subscribe down below so you don't miss out on my next video. Today, as you've seen in the title, we're going to be talking all about nightmare clients. Nightmare clients can come in various different shapes and formats, let me just tell you right now. Although I don't wish them upon anyone, they're kind of a given when you're working as a freelancer or service provider in general. So we gotta know how to deal with them. The first type of nightmare client that I want to talk about today is the nightmare prospect. This one isn't technically a client yet. They are reaching out to you, interested in working with you, and it either seems too good to be true or there are a bit too many red flags in the way they talk, in their job post, in whatever form of communication you're using. You're a bit iffy about that relationship to start off with. Now, what makes this usually a nightmare situation, because if they're just showing red flags and if they're just like, I don't know, sketchy clients, you would just say no. But what makes them a nightmare situation is that either the pay is really good or they are just like in an industry that you're really looking forward to working with. Or maybe you're, for lack of a better word, desperate for a new client. I know, I've been there. And you just want to take a chance on them and hope for the best. I'm just going to flat out say this. My suggestion for you, my recommendation in this case, if they are showing too many red flags or if they're seeming too good to be true or like they seem like a nightmare client before you even start with them, don't give them the time of day. Don't even get on a call if you can avoid that. Don't waste your time on them, because there are good clients out there, and by you wasting your time pursuing this client, you'll be missing out on all the other good ones. So trust me, there is a better option for you out there, and you're better off just ditching them, because what will happen is if you take that client on, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but you'll be wasting more time and causing more problems for yourself. So just don't do it. You'll both be disappointed. You'll both be unsatisfied with the work that you're doing. So just avoid it. It'll lead to bad feedback. It will lead to bad experience, and it will be a waste of time. By the way, I actually did a post a few weeks ago on my Instagram. I'll link the post that I'm talking about down below. But I actually did that post about a nightmare prospect that I had a few weeks ago in January, and that got great response. I feel like this is something everyone can relate to at one point or another. So go check it out, because it may give you an idea of just how good it is to get rid of that client and how like things can turn around once you get rid of them. I was actually going to do its own video on that client experience, but I've written an email, I've done an Instagram post, so I'm done talking about them. I don't want to give them like the spotlight for that much longer. And I'm not saying their name, of course, but I thought I would leave them out of YouTube. Now, the second shitty client, because that's the title that I gave to the video for myself, the second shitty client is a regretful decision. It's that nightmare prospect turned into an actual client. Obviously, you saw it coming, you saw the red flags, but you chose to ignore them. Trust me, I've done that before as well. Like, every single one of these are from experience. I've fallen into all of these traps before. After all, you took them on as a client and they've proven all your expectations, all your doubts about them to be true, unfortunately, and now you're stuck with them. Now, first thing I want you to consider is if you're really that stuck with them. I don't know what contract you have with them. I don't know what sort of working situation you're doing. For example, for myself, I usually work through Upwork, so there's not really something written down saying, oh, you have to give me 30 days notice or something like that to break the contract. And there aren't like any written rules about that, which can be good and can be bad, but we're not discussing that right now. But if you can, leave them right away. Or if you can't, like, give them your notice, whatever it is, as soon as possible, because it will only get worse. I'm speaking from experience once again, it will only get worse. So get out as fast as you can. Now, the last client situation I want to talk about is the WTF. Like, what the frick? I don't want to... I don't know. I tend to say that a lot. So, like, what the hell are you thinking about? These clients, in my opinion, are the worst because you didn't see it coming. Like, you're completely blindsided to the bad side of that client and you're like, you seem to be nice. Now what happened? I usually say in this situation, when you think a client is good, but then they turn out to be bad or they show their bad side, I would say, first of all, before you take any abrupt decisions, talk to them. Or go back in your messages, in your emails, in your messages, whatever form of communication you're using, and try to fish for red flags. Sometimes we unintentionally ignore some red flags, but when you are dealt with a bigger red flag, you go back and you see, oh, that made sense. That was a red flag and I didn't see it. So first, I would say go back in your messages and see if this is something that could be predictable before, based on their previous actions. If it is completely out of the blue, which has happened to me before, I actually had, quick story time, I had a client that was a referral from one of my favorite clients. Now, just from that, I was trusting of them. It might have been naive from my part, but I was like, I love the client that referred me to them, so I'm sure they're a good person. And they were showing some here and there, some smaller red flags, but I just ignored them. And then one day out of the blue, they were like the worst nightmare client I've ever had. And I may have talked about this in the channel before, but basically they emailed me 10 times in an hour and it was dinner time in my time zone. Granted, they are in a different time zone, but they knew what my time zone was like. And it was like, I don't know, 7, 8 p.m. So they could have put one on one together and said, oh, she's probably having dinner, or it's completely out of business hours, so I'm not gonna bother them. No, they went ahead, sent 10 emails, and then when I told them, like, I did respond that night. I was like, sorry, I was having dinner with my family. Like, what do you need? And she was like, oh, you can never be too busy to not acknowledge a client's email. And I was like, I just told you I was having dinner with my family. Like, what do you mean? I should be checking my email? No. And that was like, I think I didn't even retrace my steps at that moment. I was like, nope, I'm done. And then, like, after I was done with her, I did see those previous red flags. What I'm trying to get to is, if in reality you see this big red flag and you can't see any previous red flags, I would honestly say talk to them, talk to your client, be open up about it, and say, like, is there something wrong, something that I did to upset you? I don't know, like, this is so out of norm. Like, be honest with them, be upfront with them, because they may just be having a bad day, to be honest. Now, this doesn't give them reason to throw it all on you, but it may be the case. So just try to assess the situation before you, like, take any, like, big decisions, or just drop them. Like, if it is really that bad, if that red flag is really that big, like it was with me, like, I don't think a client should ever disrespect my dinner time and my family time. Like, just drop them. Like, use your best judgment in that situation. That being said, like, actually, I wanted to end the video with this. If you're currently experiencing any of these 3 main bad clients, please don't hesitate to leave me a DM. I'll have my Instagram linked in the screen and down below as well. Leave me a DM, because I know from experience that sometimes all you need is someone to reassure you that you're not crazy. The client may be the crazy one, and to reassure you that that's not normal and you should get out. I know it seems so simple, but sometimes all you need is an outsider's opinion, someone that's not biased about anything. So feel free to DM me down below, or also DM me with any questions, any requests, anything like that, anything you'd like to see in a future video or a future Instagram post. I'm always open for you guys' requests. That being said, if you did enjoy this video, please leave me a like and subscribe down below so you don't miss out on my next video. I post every Friday, and I'll see you next week. Bye!